amazing the applications that we could do today that we could retell those stories, or you could, get inspired by those and make your own story.
I think that was so important. What you said there is like recycling stories. And I think as the longer you're in the business, you start realizing, man, very little, I'm not going to say nothing, but very little is original. And it blows you away when you're like, ECW is the first place to break tables. And you see Macho Man in Memphis pile driving a dude through a table. And at the time that I saw that, I was like, no one's ever getting pile drove through a table. What the hell are they doing? But it's amazing. Like even Bobby the Brain Heenan and the Weasel suit. Oh man, first time I saw that was, I think it was a WrestleMania, or at least it was WWF. And you find out, oh, they did that in AWA five years before, So man, so many of these angles are definitely just really duplicated, recycled. And I think what makes them interesting is also that it's going back to the nostalgia of it, but also the most important is that they also put their twist on it, and it's kind of like, and it's just kind of like movies, there's, you come to the point, there's only so many ways to tell a movie, then you go into the emotion of the movie, which I think is the most important, and also the most important in the match. So recycling those gimmicks, that, like when you actually see it done 20 years before Edge did it, you're like blown the fuck away because you thought that was the first time it was ever done. And usually someone did it 20 years before the person in the 80s, So Ruby Reyes, have you been watching any wrestling this week or lately?
Yes, I have, actually. There, one in particular that stood out a lot to me recently was watching Dragon Lee in his battles against Shane Taylor. And the one in particular that is in the forefront of my mind, because this had really good storytelling, was Shane Taylor versus Dragon Lee, December 2019 at Ring of Honor. And that was for the TV championship. And Dragon Lee actually got it.
Shane Taylor's that big dude, right?
Yeah.
I think I seen him at Wildcat Sports once.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so he had, Shane Taylor had the title, and this was I was doing a Dragon Lee spiral, like I was going down the wormhole with him. And this match, I would say for any of the smaller or even larger people, like look up this match, because it's a really good big guy versus small, like big clubby guy versus small speedy guy story. And it was really, really good. Probably one of the best matches I watched recently, I think, in terms of storytelling and really getting to put over your size differences and the psychology of working with people that aren't your size.
Thank you, Ruby. I mean, it's, what I was watching, Ruby? I started, I do these Twitter scheduled posts, and I didn't want to just put matches up, so I started watching actually all these vignettes that Eli would make in 2017, and a lot of the promos were the best. Well, the best ones were, I think it was you versus Tyler Bateman versus Brody King, and they did a whole storyline about Tyler Bateman. Can I trust you? And the person you're supposed to trust is the closest person. And man, I just got to say, you guys, and they should be coming out on the Twitter, but I would seek them out, and I'll probably try to post them for you guys. But definitely watch them. And I think you'll really get an understanding. And if you ever notice, a lot of our main events, when we do big shows, we definitely do our dojo shows, but when we ever do big shows, like majority of the time, we'd have Ruby Reyes in the main event. And you watch these promos, you'll definitely will understand why. It's because she really draws a lot of emotion in every promo that she's ever done for us here at Santino Brothers. And I was just watching. I mean, I think sometimes when you're going through and you're promoting the show and you go, how many tickets have we sold and this, that, and the other, you kind of run over these promos. And man, I just thought these things were just so incredibly amazing. I remember Dave Lagana commenting on the video and just saying, this is amazing. And then we were just doing dojo shows. I think the lead up was at a dojo show, and maybe one of the matches was Brody and Tyler Bateman, but the main match, we took it to a big show in Downey. That was the first time we put all the lights up. But Ruby's always been in the main event because she draws that emotion for us and for me. I think that you guys should really go ahead and seek that out. And I'll go ahead and post that for you guys if you guys can't find it, because sometimes they're buried in there. I've been having some guy from Internet Wrestling TV hit us up, and I don't know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to join in, and sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm on YouTube, I'm cool, I don't need to. But I think watching those vignettes really this weekend, it really made me say, no, I think more people need to see this shit because it's really good. And I think the people just aren't watching on YouTube. They watch maybe some of the new stuff that we have coming out, but not, you know, I don't know. I thought when you had 70,000 subscribers on YouTube, like Santino Brothers does, you get a lot more views, and we don't. It's really rough still. But so that's what made me think maybe we'll put it on Internet Wrestling TV, because I think a lot of people should see it. And I think it's a great range for you, Ruby, to really showcase also. And because every time I watch it, and this is how it kind of started with Intergender Wrestling and Santino Brothers. Every time I watch it I never looked at Ruby as a woman wrestler. She's a wrestler. She's Shingona, you know, she's badass. There was never about, oh, these guys are gonna beat her. That's why you put her in there one-on-one with Brody King. You know what I mean? Because she's Shingona, you know, she's believable, you know. So, but I just wanted to say that because I was watching those videos and I just thought they were really incredible. And usually I'm like, they're only incredible when I'm in the video. No, but but you guys did an incredible job, and I really appreciated it. So I'll post that for you guys so you guys can check it out and really pick it apart, because I thought they were great vignettes. And like we go ahead and talk about again, that, you know, until we're able to get into a ring on a regular basis, you know, we definitely have to utilize this time to really nail down. You want to nail down your character, nail down your promos, and if you can't, you want to at least nail down one. And if you can't do that, you want to be on your way to understanding what it is. And like I was telling Jay right before we were on the call right now, was just that you have to just really put those reps in speaking those promos and get them out over and over and over again till it's like the back of your hand. You know your character. You know, it doesn't matter, man. Mean Gene can say anything to you. Your character is just going to react to what he's talking to you about. You don't have to worry about it. If you have bullet points, I'm wrestling Ruby and Downey on this date, okay, get that across. But man, you really don't have to think when you do promos. Honestly, you start thinking less when you're wrestling, because you're not thinking about what's the next spot. It doesn't matter the next spot. The spot is me flexing right now and taunting the crowd, right? That's when we do these video games, they have these taunts. It's so important. I mean, I don't know if you skip over the taunts, but if you see the taunt in the video game, you should have a taunt in wrestling, because they really break that down for you guys. It really is make a wrestler. They tell you the 5 moves that you can do. They give you one finish move, you know, right? Don't hit too many finishers, because this is your one. This is the one we're trying to get over. It's just really telling that story and painting a picture. So a little bit off of that. But yeah, that's what I got a chance to watch this. I didn't get a chance to get back to my WCW Saturday night, but I really wanted to just actually just talk to you guys about what I did see. So I was actually taking time watching that, and I thought they were amazing and great videos. So good job, Ruby. All right. So, you know, I saw, let me see if he's still here. Charlie Wu, my friend. Charlie Wu's been here for a couple of times, and I know you've had to bail out early, so I want to call upon you first. I want to call upon you first this time. So I know you just came in late. We're just kind of getting our introductions and everything. So you'll be our first guy that we talk to. Have I talked to you about the goals already?
We talked, not like this.
Not specifically,
but,
okay.
Frequently, many times in the past, you kind of know a little bit where my head is when it goes to when I'm at training or at a show or whatever. So
I know we've talked about that. This was your time that you were gonna try to come back into the ring, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
The goal. All right, well, this is the whole thing about Charlie Wu is what I really would like to do, because I'm more of a character than I am more of a wrestler. I just want to know how I could actually do the bumps. I would really love to do the Dangerous Danny Davis kind of like storyline.
Dangerous Danny Davis.
Where you actually are like the referee. And I'm Charlie Wu referee all the time. But little by little, like with the Dominations, I'm screwing people over and I'm messing up. Eventually flip over to become take a challenge from somebody that's really pissed off, and then ride the wrestling woo game for a while, but eventually, as the long-term goal, is to be the next Rick Knox, Jeremy Marcus of Southern California. That's the long-term goal. But you do have to have everyone watch the woo, you know, and everybody
Damn.
go woo.
Those Rick Knox boots are going to be really tough to fill, huh? But it's not going to be impossible. It's not
Long-term.
impossible. Yeah, no, it's not impossible. And talking about dangerous Danny Davis, I gotta tell you, I really hated that guy as a kid so bad, man. Oh my gosh, he'd wear his white tight shirt and his referee pants and and he played the heel. I mean, and that's what I say. Like, hey, when they piss you off in wrestling, you're doing your job. You're playing the heel to a T. You know, because I hated the way his facial expressions. I hated how small he was, how big but he, you know, you look at him, he was actually a big dude.
Yeah.
He was a big dude, but, you know, standing next to Bret Hart, he was smaller, of course, you know, or then Jim the Anvil, you know. But yeah, it really drove me.
There it goes. John Nelson was right there.
But yeah, it just really drove me nuts. Let me see what this guy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, so have you read that book?
No, it was something that's been permeating in my mind for a while. I didn't even know the book existed. So, John, thank you so much.
You can borrow it after me, man. I'll send it to you after I'm done reading it. It's a little choppy, to be honest with you, but it's interesting.
You know how it happens in wrestling, John? If you lend that book out, man, make sure you're okay with it not coming back.
It's all right.
Not that he's not going to give it back. I've had great intentions of always giving my books back, and I don't, you know. Yeah. And the same vice versa. I remember someone says, "Oh, I have that book. You gave it to me." I'm like, "Oh, I'd like to see it again."
Part of me also wants to do like do a 3-man faction, and it's gonna be called the House of Woo.
Kind of like Woo. Okay.
The House of Woo, and you know, just
are you part of the 3-man faction?
A little bit and have like the Freebird rule, like New Day right now, but House of Woo.
So you want to be wrestling part of this faction?
Well, yeah, I kind of want to bridge over to get like recognized, because I know like storylines like this are really promotion based. It doesn't really carry over across an entire territory or scene in these days. What you do in Santino's may not be something that Boy wants to do in Level Up, or you know what I mean, or even MPW. But if they're kind of familiar with the referee, that I kind of screw people over, and then I get people that are with me that are booked, it's easier to kind of like see that there is actually this whole storyline, character based across multiple, I guess, shows that will eventually into reffing, managing a while, and wrestling. But long-term goal is to actually ref, because as I've been reffing the past year, it's really, I've noticed that there's a lot of guys that are just like, oh my gosh, I mean, they're not into the moment of the match. They're literally just watching the match in the ring.
Oh yeah.
And so when you see people like Jeremy or even Isaac, you know what I mean, and they're like really into what's happening, and they're trying to like really control or give the illusion of control, mastery of a match. I see other refs and I'm like, do something, you know, be vocal. You can speak. You're the ref. And I'm like, it blows my mind. That's like even places like Inoki Dojo, even Labyrinto kind of likes watching me ref and tries to get me to ref when they were running shows more regularly. But I kind of want to do that because I think like production end will always be like my backbone. But I kind of already rode that, and that goal was actually achieved. But there's like, I had to set new goals. You know, my goals are like very small, and as soon as I hit that, it's kind of like I got to go to the next level, which right now is trying to do like build up refereeing as I get into like more wrestling condition, and be able to like hone that Woo character. Once I could do the Woo once I screw a person over and do a storyline with somebody, you know, then, you know, build out the Woo and then build out the faction, and or the threesome, which is my idea, the House of Woo, and I just let that ride for about a year and just figure out how to get back into reffing. So,
I want to say I hear you talking about yourself like a heel, correct?
To heel that you want to boo, but you're just like rolling on the floor. You just want to say you suck, and like I could just make you laugh. It's comedic, like kind of like a Bobby Brain Heenan when he kind of like fumbles around.
I could totally see something like Charlie Wu being a ref with a bully wrestler, and like Haas, and Haas is bullying you, you know, and I'm Charlie Wu, I'm the referee, you know, this, that, and the other. It could also come to the point where La Parka does this a lot in his matches, where he'll take the heel, and he'll have the heel mess with the ref. Usually it's a guy out here named Indio, long Mexican dude, long hair. He's an older gentleman, but man, he's been around for years. He'd always do the spot with La Parka. And the spot would be the heel would always mess with the ref, mess with the ref, mess with the ref. Then it would come to the point where the ref actually finally got a point to. It would always be a hip toss for some reason. He would hit. It would be like everybody get hip toss, and then the ref would fucking hip toss the guy, and everyone would lose their shit because it's the referee, because they built it on it. I also could see something like that with Charlie Wu, right? Hitting a chop, you know, trying to defend himself, and then finding himself in a match, but as a face. I kind of see that that really kind of working out, finding this bully that you're like, I don't want to wrestle, but I found myself in this match, and I'm not even a wrestler, and everyone really gives you like leeway, because you're like, he's Charlie Wu, the ref, but this is pro wrestling, so of course the referee is in a match now, you know. And I think that Charlie Wu, I could definitely see the Charlie Wu character being a wrestler and a referee. I really believe it's lovable, man. Charlie Wu, it's like I don't want to say we love to see you get beat up. I don't know if it's like a Three Stooges kind of a thing, where
Jackie Chan, Three Stooges, Jerry Lewis. It's kind of like very physical, comedic, but yet I still kind of get my licks in accidentally. You know, it's one of those things where I'm kind of like I'm fumbling around, and all of a sudden I hit you. You know, it's very physical comedy, and my inspiration is Three Stooges, the old Charlie Chaplin kind of old movies that I would watch every now and then, and just see how physical comedy and timing is. But it's like I don't have that conditioning as well as the wrestling chops, which is why I wanted to ref till I could build that chop to build a storyline with something. So I think if I eventually, you know, with shows like Up All Night and the Santino shows, you know, I could, you know, eventually work with one of the fellow alumni or even students that are gonna debut, and figure out who have the best chemistry with that can react off me. Feel wise, I mean, it'll be fun, and I like the idea of going it as a face, because it's very common for the referee to be a heel, then get into the ring. You know what I mean? This one, we're kind of like the referee is actually being beat up. He finally decided to stand up for himself. Is now taking charge. He isn't a punk. You know, I love how that works.
Yeah, I think that would definitely work, you know. You know, it's just all, you know, a matter of time of getting training back, you know, not only getting training back, but getting our indie wrestling back, you know. And obviously it's not going to come back the same way, you know. Maybe outdoor shows, super spread out shows, something like that might work to start. You know, I don't see many people, you know, getting comfortable getting in the ring, you know, or I don't know, maybe they are. I seen Ray Romero in the ring this weekend. But yeah, you know, I definitely see the Charlie Wu character really, really excelling. It goes back to that character-driven wrestler. What, you know, it's so important. I mean, it's extremely important. I think a lot of the times we come in, I just want to wrestle. You know, you have to do the character part, because that's what really draws everybody in. And I see, like, when Charlie Wu does his thing, you know, you already have it, like, woo, you know what I mean? And it's also you know, it's your name, but it's definitely the play off pro wrestling and Ric Flair, you know. And I think that's what everybody would love about that connection, you know. It's like, you know, I would always love to see a vignette with Charlie Wu and Ric Flair, you know. I mean, really. But you gotta, like, you said, I get the small goals, man. Put these huge goals out there. At least, you know, hey, have the map on how to get to this huge goal, but really put that thing out there to shoot for that moon, and then say, okay, I'm going to do this part to do this part. And I see, you know, we got to roll with the punches. Number one, we got to roll with the 2020 punches, the COVID and everything, and shutting down and figure it out. But yeah, I definitely think you got that that character down really well. I see that, you know, they're all, and then, you know, you being, you know, around Isaac and Jeremy, that, you know, there is a need for referees. You know, it's not just a guy in a zebra shirt. You know, there's got to be a referee, like you were talking about earlier, in that the referee is a third man in the match, you know, and sometimes you do catch yourself when you're inexperienced. You do catch yourself just watching. And you're like, oh my God, I'm the fucking one that's supposed to be counting. And it happens. But how do we get that? It's just the rep after rep after rep after rep, you know, and I'm sure you've heard about all the refs to watch, you know, Ric Flair's ref. What's his name? Tommy Young? Tommy Young? I think that's right. John's our expert on the refs. So but
Well,
that's how
Charles
you gotta be.
Robinson.
Oh yeah,
WWE
yeah, little
Charles
Nate.
Robinson,
Yeah,
NWA.
little Nate. So you got two eras. You got 80s and 90s. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, definitely. I mean, and even to watch all these refs, there was like, oh man, I was watching Mickey J and Nick Patrick. You know, I don't know if I thought Nick Patrick was the best ref, you know, but definitely has a style. You know, everyone has their unique style, how they go into it. And I think that's really important, you know, because, you know, we don't want to stand out, right? We don't want to take the heat or the shine away from the face or the heel, but also we want to also be part of the match and be memorable, you know. You know, I know there's debate about, you know, it shouldn't matter who that referee is, and that makes a great ref. I definitely understand that, but also we want to be, you know, that referee that becomes known, you know, by, you know, it's just your mannerisms, what you do, how you act, how you become a great ref, and that's really how they're gonna really find out about you. So, yeah, Charlie, well, I definitely see you excelling in that. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I thought you were gonna add. I've conquered my goal in behind the scenes or production fairly quickly, you know. Cause you did, you know, so, right. We never know how that cookie's going to crumble. So definitely, you know, and definitely keep on it. Having that production is going to keep you valuable in the pro wrestling industry, you know.
Just for
Until,
Santinos in general, I want to make sure that we actually always have a great production team, because I watch other shows and I watch the videos and I'm like, you know, I just, you know, making sure that Santinos has always a core of guys that's our go-to, so that that's the school. That's just my love for the school, just trying to develop a core group of guys that are dependable, that are willing to be there when we need to be there, and edits when edits needs to be done, and get in the right amount of time.
yeah, definitely. And I think you've done a tremendous job, because I really, and I don't know if any of you guys know, I tell Charlie Wu, hey, do what you need to do, Charlie. Who do you think is going to be the best cameraman? You make the decision. Because it's all about art, right? I want you to excel in your art. If I tell you what to do, you're going to do what I told you to do. I want you to create your art, and I think Charlie Wood does an incredible job doing that. All those videos, man, really appreciate and take care of your production guys, because at the end of the day, all we have those memories, but man, we want that fucking video, you know. We want it's so like important to us as a wrestler, you know. So it's so important to right, treat everybody with respect, hard work, honor, you know. So I think you've done a tremendous job, and I don't know about you, Charlie, but man, I am like, I'm so antsy about like getting back to work, like really getting back to wrestling, getting back to doing it. And I'm sure everybody feels that way. So, but yeah, you know, I definitely look forward to that. And I think that you're already halfway there, Charlie, on that ref stuff, the character. I think storylines are already there, kind of really writing themselves. It's just really getting the reps in, kind of getting your cardio up. I know you've had a problem with that,
Yeah.
but just right. And then, but I think when you really have the character down, the cardio kind of gets thrown out the back door. It really does. You know, it really does, because you start going at your character's pace. And so, like, if you ever get really tired in a match, and I don't know, you're wrestling me, and you let me call it. If say you're wrestling Jake or even Ruby or Dom, you let Dom or Ruby call it, guaranteed you're playing catch up. You're trying to keep up with them, so you're probably gonna be way more tired than them. If you call the match, that's why it's always important to call 50-50, I think, because if you call the match, they're keeping up with you and your pace. So, and I think especially when you're doing that, and then you do character, the other people can always get tired because they don't know what's coming next, and you're just smoking a cigarette, walking through the park, smelling the roses. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's so important about calling a match. If you don't call anything, you're probably going to get really tired. And then also character driven, because that's going to fill those gaps that are so important, right? It's not just hit the move and then go to something else and then go to another spot. And then, no, it's hit the move, boom. This is the magic that builds the character right in the middle, whether it's, The Rock putting his hand in the air, Hogan asking out for people, Macho Man spinning, calling for, or, even Jake the Snake calling for the DDT. So those are the little magic moments, smirks. And I think when you guys go to television, it gets even more detailed because it's facial expressions. You don't even have to do anything. It's just really facial expressions. We want you to look this way and then have this concern for 3 seconds and then change the look. Definitely directed that way, at times. But that's how they make that match. And I think guys like building that magic is really like the New Japan guys. I've seen it before where they zoom in on a guy that thinks he does a move to a guy and he flips, lands on his feet. I think it's Ibushi and maybe Omega. Yeah, and the camera work was just amazing. Zooms in on the guy's face and then they show the dude standing behind him like it's fucking Jason Voorhees, and you're like, this is amazing work. It's like it's not the same sitting in seat G, section F, yeah, it's not the same. That camera work does it. And so you've done a great job, Charlie, and I see you going, definitely doing a lot in this business, right? And age is nothing, man. How do you feel? Keep moving forward, right? Keep your body healthy. So good talking to you, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much, Joey.
Absolutely. Let's see here. I see that we have Mr. Sean Black. Let me see if I can get. Hey, you got to take your stuff off mute, Mr. Sean. So we're going to ask you the same thing that I've been asking everybody. What are your goals, man, in wrestling? Let's talk. Goals, so let's talk. What are your goals? Obviously we're dealing with this halt. We got stopped right now with a virus. We're going through protests now, but sun rises every fucking day, man. So we have to still look forward and look ahead, and because we all have goals that we want to accomplish. So what are your goals that you have? Short term or long term?
Short and the first is what we just talked about. I want what we're doing for the community. That I really want that to grow. We partnered up with people, you know what I'm saying, and I really want that because we every resource we need help. What's going on, especially with the Compton shows, because Compton, man, it gets tough. You know what I'm saying? So keep going on that end. As far as me just wrestling.
Like
I found myself.
What gets tough on the Compton shows?
No, I'm talking about this area. We in the trenches. Like we're not,
right.
We're not doing just Compton just to be NWA and be funny. We taking it to literally, where we're in the trenches. Yeah.
Some of the best.
It's beautiful because
some of the best lucha shows. Some of the best lucha shows ever. When I was coming up. Right in Compton, man. Fucking Compton. We used to go down to Compton and check out. And I used to be like, man, I'd love to be on this fucking show. People in Compton love their pro wrestling, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, it's all good, man. We just focus and keep focusing, letting that grow. As far as me personally, like I said, I think I know you've been irritated with me for years. I think. Like I said, I just finally started being myself in the ring. I know you got a story about that. I remember you got pissed off. For those who don't know, I tried a lot of just really ridiculous gimmicks before, and Chaos would always encourage me to be myself. I work with special needs. I like to turn, party club. I'm just me, and people outside the ring know me, and fans know me like that too. So when I tried to be other things, it didn't really fly. Like, you know what I'm saying? It never flew. Because too many people just knew kind of who I, But that's
and you know what this guy? You know what this guy did? He wanted to be Sean Black, very serious wrestler, Sean Black, and I'd be like, man, You be holding court here for 20 minutes after class, joking up everything, and everybody be listening to everything you're saying. Why don't you want to be yourself? Oh, no, I'm trying to do this thing. Oh, but tell him, please, man, I think this will work. So fast forward a couple of fucking years of me telling him this motherfucker sees Big E. And all of a sudden he's like, I want to do some comedy, man. I see a big guy doing comedy, so I can do it. I looked at him, I said, don't fucking do it now, man. This guy's already doing it. But no, I mean, no, by all means you can do it, right? I mean, there was the Barbarian and Warlord, and there was Demolition, and there was the Road Warriors, there was the oh man, I think it was Sting and Ultimate Warrior were the Blade Runners. They were all rip-offs of this Road Warrior gimmick. So you can do it. You can do it. You just got to make it unique of your own. You know what I mean? Make it unique of your own, right? So like, I think like one of the out of those talking about those characters, I think Demolition made that unique. You know what I mean? They kind of made it their own. Wasn't complete the ripoff of the Road Warriors. So I think you can definitely do it, and I think you're doing it now, man, because I think people love that and connect to that because they're attracted to your attitude and your personality because that's just who you are. You know what I mean? That's just who you are. So yeah, I would definitely keep exploring that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna ask this to everybody. How's the workouts coming?
Way better. I got that surgery. I don't know if you remember Chaos. Remember y'all used to crack on me, my loud snoring?
Where were you sleeping? Johnny's house?
Now, I had a condition called sleep apnea. You can research it and all that.
I know about it.
And I have very severe sleep apnea. I had surgery. I have one more surgery to go. If you guys know somebody that just snores like ridiculously, I know people like to laugh and call, but it's very serious because you stop breathing and it messes with the heart. So along with mess with the heart, that's one of the reasons it caused my weight gain and obesity too. So I got the first surgery and dropped about, like I said, the belly and the boobs ain't here. No, you know what I'm saying? So I got the first surgery. I've been working out ever since. I got a little secret place to work out in the hood. And I got one more the end of this month. And it's going to clear my breathing passages in my throat. And it's they're going to take out my adenoids. So.
Is that is that just in and out? Do the surgery and you're out that same day?
Yeah,
okay.
Same day. This time they went up in my nose and everything, and shrunk my mucous membranes and made clear breathing passages. And this time they found out my adenoids were too big. They're like golf balls. They're gonna take those out too. And it's gonna help me breathe in my sleep.
How's your cardio?
I wrestled at Fist this weekend, horrible. I was
Man.
so happy when that bell run.
See, you should have been in the talk when we started this a month ago, man. Like, that's how I've been telling this, cardio, because, man, ain't nobody want to wrestle when they ain't got no cardio. Like, fuck this shit. Like, this is bullshit. Like, fuck, what am I going to do wrestling, man? I ain't got no cardio. It sucks ass, man. It makes you feel like you want to die. Get that cardio up, man. You should be doing, like, right? Even in the house, you could do mountain climbers. That's not throwing your whole body around. You could do jumping jacks, just as long as you do on the balls of your feet. You know, get a little rhythm, get a routine going. Even if you're just fucking, not even drop downs. Go into push-up position, stand back up. Go into push-up position, stand back up. You know what I mean? Even stuff like that.
Yes,
even just laying on your back, standing back up. That the drill that we do in the beginning of classes, right? The get-ups. Man, that'll get your cardio going, right? You don't need a huge area to run. You can do it right there and right where you're at. Just move those tables around. You can do it right there. Probably won't be the most comfortable, but it can be done, you know? So get on that cardio, man. Get on that cardio.
Yes,
hey, have you told Boogie about your little secret workout place or what?
Yeah, he said he might slide in. Hi, right? You gonna come hi? All right.
All right, man. Hey, good talking to you. Good talking to you, Sean. And but yeah, like, hey, let me know with Amped Up. You know, when we get back going again, let me know what you need help with. Even if it's just talking to me, you know, figuring shit out, trying to consult. You know, let me know what I can do. You know, how I can make it easier, because I hope that, like, I go back and I say, do I try to make all these mistakes so you guys don't have to? I really do. figure out how to do it the wrong way. Hey, how do we get more heads in there? You know, so I think, you know, stuff like that, really, it's pounding the pavement. If you're able to put posters up, put them up. If you're able to pass out flyers, obviously you're able to pass out flyers, you know, pass them out. And then there's also this other thing, you know, if you ever find yourself with a budget, right, there's this these digital billboards, man. They're like 5 cents a blip, and that's what it's called. It's called blip.com. And it's pretty amazing, man. They throw your billboard up, and I mean, you could put a daily limit of $5. You could put a monthly limit of $20. Say, all they want to spend $20 a month, you know. Your billboard will still go up there, you know. People will still see it. So there's little tricks and stuff that you can do, you know. Obviously, some Facebook ads, stuff like that. But I think really what you're talking about is going into the community and talking to the community. Okay, can I put a poster up? We're running a show down the street, you know. Come on down, you know, maybe some of the, hey, give me a card and we can make an announcement to all the restaurants and stuff down the street, you know, by our show. Let them know, hey, come to you guys. Then they're a little bit more friendly and free to let you put the posters up, because a lot of times they let you put the posters up and the owner comes and then he's like, take that shit down. You know what I mean? So, but if you're a little bit more friendly, give information, it usually tends to stay up there a little bit longer. But really, like, for what you're doing, man, pounding the pavement with flyers, and even talking to the community, like really just handing flyers to people in their hands helps out tremendously, especially on your level, until you're able to put money into advertising, you know. So I think that would definitely help out. And then even getting all the guys that want to wrestle, hey, let's do this on one day. And I think you're great because you do the podcast, and I think you do gatherings at your work, right? You know, to like pep rallies at your work, kind of a thing before the show. Do you do stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think those are incredible. And then, you know, I'm pretty sure your mom's already told you, get with the city, right? Get with the city and try to see. Yeah. Like sometimes they'll even say, hey man, we're doing a festival. We don't have a budget. They might say that, you know, you could probably talk some money out of them on the next one maybe, but they'll maybe let you put a ring down, you know, and get your name out there and let people know what you're doing. You know, we did that for years here in Huntington Park. We'd put our ring up. We didn't make any money off it. We would just try to just get the name out there, get the brand out there, let people know, you know, it's kind of like Larry H. Parker, right? I don't think anybody here is called Larry H. Parker, but all of us pretty much know who the fuck he is. You know what I mean? So I think it's just putting it in their face, and then when they finally know, they'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Hit me up, and then I'll definitely help you out, Sean.
Appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you. Good talking, my friend. All right. Let's see here. Who do we have here? I got, let's go. I see Jag is here. Hasn't been here, at least for this questionnaire that we're doing. So let's see here. Mr. Jag, just take yourself off mute and I'll ask you the same question that we're asking. How are you today, first of all?
Hanging in there, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, good.
Loud and clear. So we're talking about goals and stuff that, you know, what, you know, you know what? I read your tweet and you said, hey, man, all my goals are pretty much derailed for 2020. You know? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
So what were your 2020 goals going into, you know,
I'm actually going to pull them up right here. I had them on my phone. Graduate the program. Of course, that was number one. After graduation, work one show as each of the following: ring announcer, manager, commentator. Those were my goals. Work an out-of-area show, Bay Area, San Diego, whatever. Work an out-of-state show, and then work a TV taping, championship wrestling from Hollywood, something on IWTV, high spots, fight, something like that. I wanted 250 YouTube subscribers, which I think we hit 200 today, right, Pete?
Okay.
So that one's still on target. All right. Establish a PWT store, which we did, and sell a shirt, which we freaking did. So we got a Pro Wrestling Tee store. We sold a shirt. We got 200 subscribers so far, trying to get more. We had 1,000 followers on Twitter, which is good. Our number one videos got like 2,700 views. So, I mean, things are kind of going along, which is nice. But as far as the actual business and being the Jag and managing and doing that sort of thing, it's, you know, it's on pause. A lot of everything is on pause for everybody right now. So there's a part of me that's a little upset about it. And I got kind of depressed. I got laid off. You know, I've been sitting around kind of feeling sorry for myself, put on some weight, whatever. But I dusted myself off and said, F it, let's get back to work. So, I mean, I hit the gym this morning. I've been watching what I eat. I'm down 6 pounds so far since I started again. It's only been like a week. So just monitoring my food, drinking water. I'm going on walks every other day with my wife. I'm hitting the gym 3 times a week. And just really changing my diet quite a bit has made a big difference. So I'm trying to get back, not just for wrestling, but just back to feeling like myself. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been in sales for the last damn near 20 years, 19 years of straight commission, singing for your supper, high stress, you know, shit. And I'm tired of it. So I'm looking to make a career change to something a little more stable. And this is all part of the plan, man. So I'm just kind of revamping and reshaping my focus and getting my shit right, because like even just going to Santino's, man, and I was cleaning out my car the other day because I had all these samples in the back of my car for my job. But I also had all my wrestling stuff back there. You know, I had wrestling shoes and I had water and I had my knee pads and I had all that stuff. A couple different canes, you know, for my props. And I was cleaning all that out, and I couldn't take it out of my car. And even though I know we're not going to wrestle anytime soon, I don't need freaking knee pads anytime soon. I can't let it go. You know what I mean? It's still in the back of my car just in case. And I think we had 6 weeks of class before freaking COVID-19 kind of derailed the train. So I feel like I'm on the fringe of Santino Brothers in a lot of ways, because we didn't get the full experience. But we've been around. Pete's been around longer than I have, of course. But the show, Make Me a Fan, has been around, Santino's and Up All Night and yada, 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 for almost a year now. So, I mean, I feel like we know everybody and we have relationships and we're part of the family. But I'm really looking forward to actually doing the damn work, doing the job, working a show, hitting somebody with a cane. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Disrupting a match, you know, something. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be part of the show, man. And, you know, I had this guy tell me on Instagram, no, it was Twitter. I think Pete, Twitter today, some guy's like, oh, you're just a WWE fanboy because I criticize AEW. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not a WWE fanboy. I've watched more AEW recently than I have WWE. I've watched more Ring of Honor and Impact than I have WWE. And, you know, Encyclopedia, we talk about we'd like to work for Ring of Honor someday. We'd like to work for Ring of Honor or Impact. Those are our goals. And whether it's behind the scene, whether it's commentary, whether it's managing, and of course we talked about this, Joey, we want to have our own promotion here on the West Coast, and so we want to put on a show in Orange County. And so Orange County is largely neglected. You got Ground Zero down there, you got everybody and their cousin in LA, and Orange County is just like this flyover area. So we, being from Orange County, want to put a show in Orange County, and of course we've talked to you about that, and we'd love to use some Santino Brothers talent and just do the damn thing. So everything we've been, yeah, I see you, Milo. Don't worry, you're on the list. And
we want to make sure that everybody gets a good payday as well, because it's hard work, and you guys need that as well, and we understand that. So that's the whole difference is that this is all about building it for everybody.
And right now, I'm just trying to take the time to educate myself on booking. You know, I'm watching a lot of old classic stuff, watching a lot of old Memphis, watching a lot of old, you know, NWA, Crockett promotion stuff. You know, just trying to just immerse myself into the culture and the history to build what we want to do for the future. So it's almost like, you know, you like to say not your final form, which is a Dragon Ball reference if I'm reading you correctly. Am I right?
You know, I wouldn't know, but hey, if it is, I'll take it. No,
hey, that's a Dragon Ball reference, man. I thought
really?
you were a Dragon Ball fan. I was going to give you a Dragon Ball analogy.
Hey, I could be. I'll accept it.
Well, tell you what, dude. In Dragon Ball Z, during the Cell Saga, for the nerds in the room, when they have to prepare for the upcoming fight, they go into this time chamber, right? Where a day of real time is like a year in the chamber. So they're able to train for a year, and when they come out, it's only been a day. And so I'm trying to treat this time like the freaking time chamber, so I can rebuild myself and get stronger, better, faster, and more knowledgeable, so that when that fucking door opens, I can kick it down and make a way. So that's the goal.
Good. So what, you know, you mentioned those early goals, right? That you actually have on your Facebook and Twitter. You know, here's the deal, right? I run a wrestling school, but I know the truth. The truth is, man, there are so many people that come in, and they can come in. Like, you're like, oh, I have to finish my training before I can do this, right? Yeah, of course you do, you know, 100%. But that's not that's like the rule that can be broken. You know what I mean? It can be broken, right? Because how can backyard Joey from a fucking warehouse teach guys, right? Like how can he teach people? It's if you have, like, I think that's the same thing we talked about when we talked privately, was just about if you have that passion and you have that drive. I think people see that love and passion in it, and I think there's stuff that you would be able to do, right? Because you're talking right here, and I think it must have been at least 8 minutes, and you just talked very naturally, calm, relaxed, right? A lot of the people, a lot of the times have the goods, like, say for instance, someone like Kathy Caponelli, like right from the go, like she would have that. She knew what she wanted to do. I don't know. I haven't talked to her per se about that, but man, when I would see her from the class, boom, she would always be talking. That's why she would be put in these spots early on. Even I think want to say before her training was done. Even part of the show was just because a lot of people, like, I think a lot of people, we just need an opportunity. A lot of the times they have the goods. And this is kind of like the secret to wrestling. And I know, hey, even me, you catch me on a bad day and I'm like, no, dude, you got to fucking pay your dues and go this way and do it. But really the truth is, man, you love this fucking business, right? And you show that you love this business with a passion. These, I don't know, these veterans or the wrestling gods or whatever, they see that and it becomes rewarded, right? Because it's just really get the job done. Can you sink or are you going to swim? You know what I mean? So you have these goals and there are opportunities to like I obviously everything like hands on, but we can learn from a video and a book. And then when we have the opportunity, go do it and go, oh my God, this is so different. But if you have that passion and drive, you will get to the end. Because you'll know how to fill it up. Oh, the mistake on here on being a ref, we didn't actually talk about this on video or in a book or anything like that, but I'm almost certain that you'd be able to get through it. I know that there's a lot of companies. I even know like Dave Marquez was talking to me about him coming up about 30 days from now, about doing a show, not with any people there, but there's a lot of talk about shows coming back up, doing what they can do. And those are opportunities, that arise, and I'm pretty sure everybody doing a show is going to have their people that they're going to use, right? And I think everybody goes into that. But then, we don't realize, Jesus fucking Christ, there's John Cena right there. We should use him. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times because it's an opportunity and you gotta, right? It's just like in wrestling, you gotta learn to just fucking, I'm here. Bullshit, they didn't use me. I'm here. Bullshit, they didn't use me. They see that though. It doesn't go unnoticed 100%. And right, it's like guy digging for the diamond and he gives up right before he's about to get it, and so that's why you just got to keep that humility in wrestling, because they do see it. It's just that little bit of fucking fraternizing, I guess, in pro wrestling that's still done. But at the same time, you'll catch yourself doing it, right? I do a lot of times see Charlie Wu say, hey man, this motherfucker needs to learn how to pay his due. I was like, hey, this guy hit me up about he wants to take pictures or do video. Charlie was like, fuck no, he was one of our students. This guy needs to pay dues. So I was like, hey, you're the man. You did the call, so but there will be those opportunities that come up. So just right, keep your head on a swivel. And just be ready, right? Because you've got that gift of gab. You have the goods. We can hear it, right? How do you do? Make me a fan. How do you and Pete do it, right? Because right, who's taught you to fucking do it? I love fucking wrestling. No one has to teach me. I know what to fucking do. You know what I mean? We just sometimes need that opportunity.
It's
and
funny
obviously.
People.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
People have asked us that too. Like, how do you guys do this? And people who've watched us do it, they're just like, we hit the button and it just goes. We don't write this shit. We don't plan it out. We don't talk about it. We don't schedule it. It just happens, And it's like, I don't want to toot my own horn and say, yeah, I got the goods, but I've never had a problem talking, entertaining, whether it's doing stand-up, whether it's doing theater, whatever the hell it was. Hell, I'm in sales, man. I talk my way. That's how I put food on my table. Is talking to people. And this is something I've loved for a ridiculously long time, and I've always wanted to be a part of it. And even though I think I don't think I could be a wrestler at this age and with this body that I have. Who knows? That might change. But I mean, I always tell Pete I'm gonna get like a 6-man tag match one day, and I'm just gonna be on the outside, just waiting for the tag, and come in with my own comeback and hit somebody with a couple of moves and then get my ass out of there. Like, I love to do that before I die. But for the most part, man, I just want to make other people shine and help tell the story and make it awesome. And Orange County needs a fucking wrestling show. So,
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely do. And I think there's, I know you talk about your back. That's why you can't wrestle. You wouldn't be able to do it on a full-time basis, but man, you could do it, man.
I
And
know.
then going,
Wait
and
and
then
see,
going,
man.
yeah,
As
and then
soon as I
going.
lose,
Go ahead.
no, I'm saying, man, I was telling Pete the other day, like, man, I used to do a lot of stuff, like, athletically, and I feel like in my own head, I've talked myself out of it. Like, oh, yeah, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I'm changing the record. You know what I'm saying? I'm changing it to say you can do that. And, like, even today, I'm in the gym, and I'm working out at this CrossFit gym. And it's kind of funny because I'm not doing fucking CrossFit, people. Please believe. If you saw me in the gym, I'm not doing any crazy, kip ups and all that shit. I'm like almost on the remedial CrossFit, right? I'm on like the baby step CrossFit before you can get to the real CrossFit. Okay, I'm leveling up. But when you're working out, sometimes you want to quit. Sometimes you think, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm hurting, I'm tired. And you start thinking of all the reasons why or how you could get out of it. And you got to change. And I've been talking to myself. I've really been changing the way I talk to myself to more of a positive self-talk thing, to say, hell yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can get through this. And this shit that you're talking about and these excuses and these fears don't freaking matter. And just changing your mindset and changing the way that you think about things manifests itself in your workout or in your promo or in your whatever. And I mean, I'm not preaching because I'm the newest guy in the freaking room, but I'm saying if ever anybody has doubts, and since everybody here is freaking human, I imagine you all have doubts. If you change that script and change that inner dialogue and make it a positive voice instead of a negative voice, magic happens. And so I won't rule anything out. I'm a work in progress. Like I said, I'm rebuilding. So stay tuned, motherfuckers, because it's coming.
Yeah, and you definitely don't I remember I had a bad back once and I was wrestling my buddy Angel, and I was like, hey brother, I'm not going to take any bumps, so let's just get through this match the best we can. Give me a stunner, give me a DDT, do this, snake eyes me on the rope. I could do all that. I don't want to bump on my back, dude. It's not feeling right. This motherfucker tells me, oh, well, I won't bump. We both won't. I'm like, no, dude, I'm hurt. That's why I'm not bumping, man. Help me out here. He was like, no, we both won't bump. We'll do face bumps. We'll do this. We'll do that. But the point of the whole story is, man, you can get through a whole entire match without actually taking a back bump, without actually taking a bump. You know what I mean? You can actually get through it. You ever watch, and if you think you're going to be terrible, don't fear. Don't fear, because have you ever seen Steve Mongo McMichael on WCW Nitro? That motherfucker has a who's who of wrestling opponent list. Each one of them, they're pulling their hair out. Kevin Sullivan, Sting, Alex Knight, or Alex Wright, William Regal. And the list goes on, and he's tag teaming with the Ric Flair and Chris Benoit, and they're looking at him like this motherfucker. So, so like I always say, believe, and never cut, because, dude, somebody should have cut Mongo off. Somebody should have cut Mongo off and helped him out a little bit. But he probably was just a huge dude. So I don't think you'll look as bad as that. And that guy was on national TV week after week. So,
Very true.
But yeah, Jag, I think you definitely do it. We're on the standstill right now, and like I was just saying earlier, I'm so antsy to get back and do it. But we got to roll with the punches, and just utilize this time, right? Just utilize this time to, maybe reach out, connect to people, network to people, have connections. You want to go to certain companies, hey man, reach out and be friendly to people that are there. Right? Don't be a fake friend, but just be real. But hey, right? That's why I always say there's no friends with business, because everybody's always got an angle. Like, hey, I want, hey, maybe you're at Ring of Honor, I want to talk to you a little bit more than the other guy.
Yeah.
But that's fucking where I want to go. So you got to do it. It's just part of wrestling. It's part of the networking, and that's something that I would start doing now. Even if you want opinions from some of these Hall of Famers, why not tag them? Hey, you know what I mean? Because you guys are doing matches. I'm pretty sure you're already tagging these people, and just really trying to have a conversation, trying to ask them a question, being creative. You probably get a response, which really kind of help your subscribers list. It's going to help your Twitter list and everything like that. So, and then, I really, hitting those, that YouTube. man, like you're gonna be doing it. It's gonna feel like nothing, and then one video is gonna hit. It's gonna fucking hit. One video will hit, and it'll just kind of take you and really help you get your subscriber list. Help you get to 1,000. So I think you can start monetizing it.
Yeah,
So you guys start going live at times, you know. So yeah, there's all those little goals, but I definitely see you guys doing it, and there's still a lot of time in 2020. I don't know. I don't know if there's a herd immunity. I don't know if they're going to find out more about the virus and say, oh shit, it's not as dangerous. It's this. I don't know if we got to wait for a vaccine, but we're just kind of all on a standstill, you know. And I know there's also the take the calculated risk to see what's going to happen if not, you know. So I guess we can only be patient and kind of see where everything goes, and really hope for the best, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I think in my opinion, whew, man, I mean, anything like indie wrestling and stuff like that, not really coming back probably till 2021, at least not coming back the way we left it, you know? So we have to occupy our time, and really come out to this better than before. Right. So, because we're not going to have the time to, I don't want to kill another 6 months trying to do it. I want to come out the gates and really hit it strong. And I think that we can do that. And I wanted to probably get back with the advocates guys and really just kind of do our best with I wouldn't say completing the class, but completing the class as best we can online with the best of our abilities that we can. And then also, hey, when we can go back to hands-on now, hey, let's do all the fucking hands-on that we didn't get a chance to do, but at least maybe we'll be able to cover you know, the whole portion of it and just kind of see where we go from there to help you guys out.
We've done quite a bit actually.
Still going?
There's been some good. Well, I know Jeremy's freaking killing it on the referee stuff, which is not really my forte. But I kind of, you know, I learned a lot just in the first few classes. I think now they're actually recording themselves, you know, doing some admonishments and things like that. The character stuff, of course, we did that in the gym, and then we did a couple weeks of that. Adnan came through like a champ on some commentary stuff and some ring announcing stuff. So I feel like we covered everything. I just need Robbie Phoenix to beat my ass and make me take some bumps. You know what I'm saying? But everything else I think went pretty well. I think everything else we covered a lot of it. Now I know we could do more with refereeing in the ring. I'm sure we can do more with some mock matches and things, you know, like as far as interference or refs, you know, whatever.
Yeah, announcing. So
well, you mentioned something though, Joey. You said something about connections, and I don't know if this is off the table or if I shouldn't be talking about this, but I tweeted about it and you retweeted it, and so I'm going to ask you. You have a connection with a certain Vampiro, and
oh yeah,
that was some big news that came out. And I don't know if you covered that or if you talked about it in the class, because like you said, I don't come here that often. But do you want to talk about that a little bit, or is that still in development? You're keeping it under your head?
You know, it's like going back to you know, Vampiro is a good friend of mine for probably about 15 years now. He's taken me to Mexico, and we worked on MTV WSX together, with a bunch of other projects. And I really enjoy Vampiro. I think he's got a plethora of knowledge. It's nice talking to this guy that you've actually watched growing up, and he's down to earth and really able to not only mentor, but also like want the opportunity to work with us at Santino Brothers. And, you know, and coming at me, you know, I am probably one of the most DTA motherfuckers I know. I don't like working with anybody. You know, I'm pretty sure Santino's Brothers would be doing a lot better if I would just reach out and work with everybody. I like the dynamic that I do, but, you know, I think it's time to really come out, you know, and I think to work with Vampiro, because he also just wants to help out at the school just on a regular. You know, that's number one. But he also approached me with, he's really connected with TV networks. I don't want to say, I think you guys might know, but he came to me and says, I have this project coming on for television, and I definitely want to use you. And I told him, well, if you want to use me, then what I do here at Santino Brothers is I use our guys. You know what I mean? That's what I do. And I said, hey, none of the guys like are professional per se. Like, we're teaching them, we're putting them on the fucking hot seat and go. But they have the passion, and that's what we do. We put people with passion in positions, and they excel. You know, sometimes they don't. And he's like, man, that's how I am. And so I was really just trying to pitch that, like, this, I wanted, if we're going to do something together, and a lot of it always comes in as talk, you know, so I always just really put it, you know, far back, and I'm not believing shit until maybe it comes together. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like bullshit, but I definitely hope that we're able to do a television project, you know, and it would be sooner than later. It would be definitely not waiting for an audience, not waiting for people to do this. They want content, you know, and so they're coming to Vampiro to do it. And so he's like, he's living in Thunder Bay, Ontario, but says he's moving out to Los Angeles as soon as they open the borders up for Canada, and then he's going to come down here, and then we'll definitely be working together. I think it'd be good. I think, man, he's done commentary, he's a wrestler, you know, he's pretty much done every single job in professional wrestling. Oh, and I was in a movie with this guy in Mexico. Yeah, this guy's like a major heartthrob in Mexico, man. You wouldn't understand it because he's just Vampiro here in the States, but man, in Mexico it's a different story. He calls me and my buddy, to be in a movie with him. It's just crazy and amazing. Like, but yeah, he's a great guy, and he's done every job in professional wrestling, from booking, promoting. I mean, he born in Canada, speaks fluent Spanish. You know what I mean? Just a guy like that should be very inspiring. A guy who says, I'm going to go to Canada, I'm going to go to Mexico and learn it, and not only learn it and do it, excel at it, but become a national heartthrob in Mexico. He's like back in the day, you know, he's on the Teen Idol magazines. You know, I think him and Conan are both on the Teen Idol, and that's why they got this little feud going on. Sometimes it's real life, sometimes it's just angle, but yeah, that's why they have that feud going on, because yeah, he's this mega superstar, or at least was. Like,
well, he seems pretty. He seems like it's a done deal. The way he was talking about it on that Chris Van Vliet interview, it was a wrap. And so I wasn't sure how far along it was. I understand the DTA don't trust anybody, and it sounds like it could be sooner than later. So that's another reason to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, right? But
yeah, absolutely. Because I'm saying, I'm itching to get out there and do something, right? And I've been talking to Ruby about, like, hey, maybe when we are able to do anything, maybe it'll be an up all night with just production and some of the wrestlers, obviously, and just kind of do something like that. But maybe this opportunity will be the same thing, you know. Maybe take the up all night crew, because they're the crew that does it, that does all of our production, does all of our everything, you know. That's the crew that we're training for situations like these. Like, hey, I hate pulling out all the fucking shit every time we do an up all night, but you got to do it so we get better at it, so we can learn how to do it, you know. And so when an opportunity like this arises, at least maybe we're ready. We're going to make mistakes, of course, but, you know, going back, hey, we're going to roll with the fucking punches. I made hundreds and thousands of mistakes trying to become a wrestler. Same thing, trying to become a trainer. But you find your way if you just keep at it, you know. And so I think we will. So, you know, and a lot of times it's not like I want to keep anything secret. It's just, I don't like to try to talk about it, because I always hated the hype when I would come up in wrestling. Hype. Oh, you're going to wrestle Leif Cassidy and Marty Jannetty. And then, oh yeah, they missed their plane flight, and bullshit. They were never coming, man. Like, but as a young kid, I fucking believed it. But it was how they would get you, lead you on, and not pay you, or whatever the case was. Because we're going to do this. It's a TV taping. We're taping it, but it never hits TV, you know? So that's why a lot of times I don't talk about anything until it's a set deal. But also because I see it as like pro wrestling karma, or like you jinx yourself, you know what I mean? Like, when I remember my buddy Luke Hawks got me on a job match on Raw, I didn't tell anybody, you know, because I was like, if I tell anybody, then I won't be on, you know. And so they just saw me on TV, and all my cousins from Chicago started calling me and watching it and saying, was that you? And, you know, because I didn't want to jinx it and say, hey, everybody, watch me on TV. And then, no, I never come on. Where the fuck were you? Oh, I was there. Bullshit, you were there. Like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's why a lot of times I don't talk about stuff until it's set in stone and we're ready to rock and roll. I don't like to that was something I hated coming up, and I didn't like that lead on, and then maybe some of the promoters had good intentions, just never formulated, you know. But it always became a very, very big letdown in wrestling, at least for me, you know. So that's why if you don't see me talking about it, it's probably it's still there. The deal, there's something there. Hopefully we can get a deal out of it, you know. So that's the idea. All right. Thank you, Jagger. Appreciate talking to you, man. We have another guy that's here that I haven't seen here for a while. Mr. Halston Body. Halston Body. How are you, my friend?
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
I've been very busy getting my quarantine weight on, so that's been good. We're talking about goals. We're talking about things and stuff. I'm one of these people that has almost too many goals, so I start to get like, I have too many things going on at once, too many plates I want to spin, so it becomes a focus issue for me. Obviously, with everything that's gone on in the last couple, 2-3 months, everybody's been subject to change of plans in so many ways and so many forms that it's almost on the daily. We have to adjust to like, what am I doing today? Like today, I thought I'm working till 6 o'clock from home, and then maybe after work, I'll get out of the apartment and go to the grocery store. Nope, not today.
No, not today. No.
Last night was the same thing. I was like hanging out at home, and I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. And then I got the alert on my phone, and they're like, we're shutting the city down in 40 minutes. And I was like, I got to go to the grocery store and get dinner. We don't have anything that, you know what I mean? So it's day by day is what I've been kind of working on, is just, what am I doing today? How am I going to get through today with whatever is on the plate? And now I have a full-time job Monday through Friday, which, of course, kills all those amazing plans that you make for making video casts for YouTube and making podcasts and spending all day doing production and then editing your next, your next reel and all those things that you have still in your grocery list in your head. Life is changing. I got to pay the bills, got to pay the rent. So if I got to go back to my wheelhouse of customer support and handle some customers on some phones to make the bills happen, life continues, but you got to keep those plans in your envelope. You can't throw them out. So as far as like, I kind of have like two sets of plans. Short-term plans, very short-term plans, is I have a patio behind me, which has been readjusted since I used to have it available for yoga and workout and space in general. But legitimately, right before the virus hit, we closed our storage unit. Like, I took everything out of our storage unit just on a whim. Like, we can't afford this right now because I don't have a day job. So we're taking all our stuff back, and I'm going to figure it out. So it completely clogged my workout area. And so short-term goal this week, and I'd like to try to get it done before the weekend, but if not, it's on the weekend, is to like clear out certain parts of it to like make sure I have a prioritized area so I can get back into DDP yoga. Because real talk, I have put on probably a good 10, 15 pounds in the last 3 months because I have not been able to go to a gym. I've not been able to keep up on any sort of regular workout. And I have been stressed and anxiety eating over everything that's going on. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's not, well, I'm giving up. And, I mean, everyone was talking, I'm like eating pizza. It's, so good. But, I'm a man of my word. So that being said, so short-term goal is to do that. I definitely want to get on either my own podcast or video cast. I think a combo of both, because I have a couple ideas. I just talked to Ruby about one of them that I've had in my pocket. And it's, designed to inspire and maybe help others because, I've been on this earth 47 years. I can tell some stories. And one of them was a podcast I wanted to start called I Used to Be A, which is based on a book idea that I'm planning to write, but I think it's going to be like two trains heading for the same tunnel. One of them's going to, hit the tunnel first. And it's basically telling the story of every job I've ever had in my 47 years on this earth. And now, mind you, I didn't start working until I was 14. So it'd be 33 years of jobs. And I've had well over 40 jobs in 33 years. Some for one day, some for 6 years. but just to share experiences of how to overcome things and how to get through experiences that people are, I mean, I've never been in a job where somebody isn't frustrated by the job. Even in wrestling, you take this on as a career, and it depends on how you mentally treat it. And part of this whole, how did I get to become Halston Body, or how did I get to pro wrestling, all stems from 33 years of work examples and experiences that toughened me up or shown me a light of, like, this could happen in wrestling, because wrestling is no different. It's a job. I worked in Hollywood. I worked as an extra. I worked as an actor. I worked as a PA. The same behavior in wrestling happens in all other jobs. People sit at certain lunch tables with each other. People have their own gripes about management. People have their own ideas of how it should be done. It all is the same reoccurring theme. So maybe one of these podcasts of, like, sharing these examples may help wrestlers overcome those kind of, whether they're minute or whether they're, ingrained in your head about how to get through your job, or how to maybe remove some of that anxiety about what you're doing in this wrestling world. Maybe.
I think that would be a great idea. If first of all, I want to say is, come on, Bob. You didn't start working until you were 14? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you made it sound. Oh, I didn't start working until I was 14. Like, I started late.
Right, but I'm talking about, like, actual, like, government employment. I mean, like, sure, I was work, I guess, before that, but
in the 3 years that I've known you, Bob, you are probably one of the best guys I know that actually takes any situation and rolls with the punches, man. Like, if I know anyone that can roll with those punches, it's Bob, man. Bob is as long as it's been about 3 years, 2017, I think.
Yeah,
maybe when you first started coming.
We're going on 3 years.
So, but yeah, that's what I think about you. Like, you're always a guy that can roll with the punches, no matter what is thrown at you. I see that. If you say, hey, I'm going to clean that balcony out by this weekend, and get my workout back on, I see you rolling with those punches and making it happen. Even if there's a box still on the way, you're going to get it. You're going to figure out how to do it, So it's so important. I get it. It's really hard, especially right now, kind of to stay motivated every day, and I think when you were talking, it just really reminded a lot about myself, because it is a lot of taking it day by day. How am I going to occupy myself? How am I going to achieve what I still want to achieve, and not waste my day? You know what I mean? And so, like, when you were talking about that, I really just started thinking about, that's the same thing I'm going through, So
one big thing that I can always offer about that too, because my husband suffers from it. I've had friends that suffer from it, and I've witnessed it firsthand, that sometimes your goals are overwhelming because it's a lot. You can say it to yourself, and I'll just use Jag's example, like, we want to work with Ring of Honor. And that, as a generalized concept, may seem overwhelming. But if you start breaking down the steps and you start really just splitting it apart, even if you take one tiny step towards the goal, you're that much closer. Even if it's just what, like, I have to look up the emails of the people who, I got to find out who, like, books such and such. If you even just take that 15 minutes to do that, and that's all you get, you're that much closer. You can't shit on yourself for not getting it all done, because a lot of people crumble when they see a big task because they feel like they have to get the whole thing done. And I've been guilty of it myself. That's how I figured it out. But when somebody taught me the magic of baby steps, hey, wow, this whole thing takes 22 steps. Well, I got 1.5 done, but now I only have 20.5 steps left. All right. Like, it's just what people who are in recovery, they have the 12 steps. It's not 0 to recovery. It's, I got to split this apart and figure out what's going on with my life to get to a place of recovery. There's so many examples in life that people have to go through to get stage by stage, and I'm still in it as Halston Body. I'm not done. I'm not in my final form by any means. I'm like stage 2, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, so you just, it's one step at a time. My entire wardrobe didn't show up in one day. It was shoes first, and then it became better leggings, and then it became a custom top, and then my makeup went from shitty, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, to now I'm like watching YouTube tutorials, and I'm like, it's evolution.
You don't just have t-shirt and jeans?
Not well, sequin t-shirt.
Yes.
But yeah.
So Bob, I think you answered your own question, because the first thing you said was, I got so many goals, I need to focus. You just said what you need to do right there.
Yep.
Little by little. That's why I love talking to you, Bob, because I always learn something from you, my friend. I always do.
There's so many layers.
Yeah.
So many. I haven't peeled off half the layers in front of everybody. There's so many layers.
Get your podcast going, man. Get your YouTube channel going. You have a YouTube channel already?
Yeah, I have Halston Body. That's my YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's start getting it on the YouTube, right? I mean, the video seems to be the in thing now. I don't know. Hey, maybe a podcast.
Well, I can talk to Pete and Jag. You can do both at the same time, pretty much, as long as you have the equipment. I mean, I have iPad, a laptop. I have the mic stand. I have the headphones. I even have an audio, like, the padded box to, like, do voiceover work if I need to. But I have all the equipment. It's just a matter of, like, because again, you get like, well, I have to do 17 things to get to that point. It's like, well, what's step 1? Step 1 is set it up. Step 2 is write out the list, like one step at a time. If
I always tell
once.
Sylvia and I, we drink coffee in the morning, and sometimes I get heated, and she says, I need to record you because this should be your podcast. Because when you tell everybody, it doesn't come out the same when you're just speaking your mind, because going back to what you're saying, just get it, set it up, just do it, make it happen, right? I think, I don't know if you listen, but I listen to Gary Vee, and that's exactly what he says. Just do it.
A lot of people try to make it perfect. A lot of people hesitate because they want. I'm only speaking for me. I've hesitated on things because I want to make sure that diamond is shiny, and sometimes the raw and the rough is just enough. Like, you don't need to make it. Here is a perfect thing on a perfect platter, and it's completely stylized and ready to go. Sometimes you got to get that rough edit. That's why they make TV pilots, and we look back at them and laugh, because they're made with styrofoam and $2, and then wow, the show's evolved. Like, there's so many examples in just daily life on how people and things evolve just by that baby step and getting it off the ground, lighting the rocket, and see how far it goes.
Are you still doing pins? Did I go out?
Oh yeah, we're doing lots of pins. In fact, we've had to do a couple things just to let everyone know. Anybody who's a wrestler right now, just to let you know, we're not doing any more like 50-50 cut deals or anything like that with wrestlers, because it's not because we lost anything. It was too hard to manage. And what it always ended up is that we'd give 50 pins to the wrestler, which is what our goal was. Here, go make $500 worth of pins. But then we would just sit on their pins because it never moved from our site. So moving forward, I think we're basically going to, we're still going to make pins for wrestlers, but we're going to do it the pro wrestling tee style, where it's essentially like, we'll totally sell your pin from our site, but you got to push it. You got to make people go there. We'll make people go there. Obviously, we're going to push, hey, we've got a new store. It's the, Ruby Ray's store, and she's got 3 new pins with us, but it'll be the same kind of model. We'll get the pins made. We'll do it. We'll take a small cut for our art and our work, but then you guys just, here's your commission for the month and what you sold off the site, kind of thing.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because then everyone pushes midcardpins.com. You know what I mean? They really push that. That's your brand.
Right. And going back to it, the goal is never to we're trying to be rich off the wrestlers. Our real goal is to help indie wrestlers make some money so they can buy some new tights and some boots. And that's really put some gas in your tank with a couple extra, $10, $20 pins and stuff like that. And it works.
I thought it was the coolest thing to have a button. To have a pin? Right. Jesus Christ, that's incredible. Like that, I think that's one of the coolest items we have, is that Santino Brothers pin.
Right. And at the end of the day, I mean, I stole the idea from Disney and Hard Rock. I'm not original. Listen, they make their business on that stuff. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, so can wrestlers. Why can't wrestlers?
Keychains 2 coming next? Why not?
We're pin people. We're not gonna try and we're gonna go into t-shirts next. Probably some of our pin designs might become t-shirts like
Come
the Dusty
on,
Rhodes.
man! You told me about Disney, man. I see all those little things. I turn around, I got Mickey Mouse looking like the same lapel pin. Come on.
Okay, right. I used to work in goods like that, and here's the consumer equation.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you've bought more than one keychain in 2 years. You have the same key. Most people have it unless you collect.
Yeah.
Or you're right, or novelties. You kind of have the same keychain until you lose your keys, right?
Yeah, but it's suggestive sales, my friend. I'm gonna buy a Ruby Ray's keychain because it's right there.
Then Ruby Ray's, get on that keychain game because I want you to start that. I don't know. Anyway, listen.
Yeah,
point is,
I made
those are my
keychains
goals.
before they all sold out. Make your keychains.
Right. Yeah, we're still doing pins right now. Yeah, we're just doing like commissions for people, and they're just buying them outright if they want to. Because we have the only 2 pins that we're gonna probably launch the new wave of how we're doing it is with Joey Ryan and Zicky Dice, because we have a brand new batch of their pins with us. So that'll be
is that going to be a
test.
different Joey Ryan pin than the Dick Flip one, or that one?
It's the same Dick Flip one, except this time we did it with a female wrestler instead of a male wrestler.
Oh, intergender. There you go.
Yeah, we did the intergender
There we
one.
go. And now I have to get the pair.
Well,
right?
there's 4 versions now. There's 3 male wrestlers with different tights and colors. In fact, there was the limited edition one from the first All In where we did his outfit from All In from the initial one. That's gone. That sold out in 1 day.
Nice.
So yeah, we're doing lots of wheels turning.
Yes,
things are happening, and I'm still trying to get to my sewing machine and make masks. I have it right here. It's right here.
What about gear with that sewing machine?
That's the next baby steps. First,
right.
get the wheels in motion, learn how to sew with the masks. I'm sourcing out this week is a large Halston body sized mannequin that I can use for making the hottest looking man capes and kimonos that you've ever seen, and caftans are coming back. So hey,
good talking to you, Bob. I know that you're the guy that rolls with the punches, got everything going in the iron, and definitely I'd love to. I've been getting on some Zoom calls with some of the guys on off time, so we could just kind of shoot the shit, throw some ideas around, brainstorm. I'd love to do that with you, maybe this week or next week. So
I'm here for it. I'm here for anybody. Realistically, anybody in the room, reach out to me if you want to shoot the shit about pins or wrestling or advocate stuff. I'm still here. I'm still available. My door and my window to talking about wrestling. Pete and Jag, I definitely want to talk to you guys about the whole video podcast. How do you guys do it, Level? Because I'm not. I did a podcast 10 years ago. It's been a while, so
back in the
we'll
day.
Talk.
Early days of podcasts. Good talking to you, Bob. So yes, definitely contact Bob. He's always a great talk. You always leave with something more. Definitely do. All right, so let's see. Okay, how about Lindsay Moore? You already know. Yes, you. Yes. Come on down.
Thanks for having me on the show. First time caller.
I have to join another Zoom. I love you all.
All right, bye. Bob.
But what's going down? Hi, everybody.
How are you, Lindsay?
I am doing good.
So did I already talk to you about goals? Did we talk? No, I think we just had an introduction. Okay, good. Yeah. Good, because I remember I asked you about football. I think that might have been last week in an introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lindsay, before I ask you the question, I just want to let you know, I think, right, your biggest obstacle has been consistency, right? Has been consistency at Santino Brothers. But man, when you wrestle, I think you definitely need some work on the character. But when you wrestle and you work, I mean, you got the goods there. You just need to be consistent, right? Come more often, because you're able to, most of the time, kind to see a move done once, and then you're able to just go ahead and do it. Come on, Mr. Cat. That's I just want to let you know that like that's the biggest thing, because I mean you're very athletic. I mean you're already doing, you know, you're playing football, and so you're already very athletic, so we're not worrying about cardio or anything like that with you. You're able to do the moves, whether it's the leapfrogs or anything like that. So I think just the biggest lack for you right now is just the consistency. So I just want to get that off, because man, whenever I see you work, I think my biggest pet peeve about you is like, damn, where is she? I'd love her to be here so we can keep moving
Yeah.
forward, because you're one of the easier ones to teach. You know, it's like you see it and you do it. You know, so now that I got that, I wanted to let you know that. So what are your short term and your long term goals, professional wrestling for professional?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm all for feedback and constructive criticism for everyone. I like working really hard to be a good athlete, especially at what I do. So some of my short-term goals that I had just kind of written down from last week would be, like you were mentioning, finalize the details of my character. That way I really know who I am in the ring. So I guess little things, you know, I kind of have like the idea of it from like what, you know, you and Joe, Robbie and I have talked about, but I guess maybe more so like the intro music or the type of vibe I'm going to go out there with, you know, and then also another short-term goal is I want to become efficient at communicating in the ring. I think that's one thing I can work on too, you know, when I'm consistent and come back. I just want to be able to really communicate really well and be confident with that. Because I think sometimes like I know it, but I'm like afraid to say it, or I'm afraid to like tell someone in the ring. I don't want to like come across as like bossy or this or that. And so I think I just need like confidence with that.
Right.
Probably.
Just do you find yourself mixing up the spots sometimes and losing confidence because they're mixed up, or?
I think sometimes I'm like thinking, you know what I mean? You know, those like moments where like you can just see that someone's thinking. It's like I know the combo, but sometimes, yeah, there's like a pause where maybe I'm like, oh shit, what's next? And then instead of just kind of like you talk about like working and then just being like, hey, I forgot it or something like that and reminding me, I kind of like freeze. So I want to get better at just like maybe just asking for help, or just being like, hey, what's next? Or those little in between spaces when you do have that like blank spot.
Yeah, you know, I mean, so like I wouldn't feel like you're too bossy, you know, if you want to call something. Like if you're in a match with me and you call something like, I don't know, maybe you're 70-30 where I'm really just going to probably ignore it and do what we need to do. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, sounds good, let's do it. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be afraid to throw it out there, just because I'm not going to hit you any harder. I'm just going to say no. I'm going to say, oh, it also will give me an idea and say, okay, well, she wants to do that. Okay, well, and I'm going to push you back and I'll work you in the corner a little bit. And then I'm going to formulate a spot or something to make it in my head would be like, okay, how can we make this make sense and lead to where we need to go? You know? So I would never feel like I'm too bossy or you're too bossy if you say something or call something. I think it's better to have more communication rather than zero communication. There's only a certain amount of people that you're probably going to ever be able to work with that you can just look at them and give them a glare and you'll know exactly what they fucking are telling you and you'll be able to work just like that. I think me and Jake Atlas started getting like that, where we would call very just minimum stuff. If he knew that I was going to the top rope, he pretty much knew that I was going for a leg drop. And then it would be up to him to if I'm missing it or not, you know? So all that's going to come with being comfortable in the ring, you know? So if it definitely is going to be better to have more communication, because even if you're lost, and we go back to Mongo McMichael, like you're not going to look as terrible as him, you know, and he's on national television. I'm not giving the guy shit. It's just a lot of us work hard, man, and never get those opportunities, you know. So, but if you go in there and you're at least communicating and slowing down, right, and taking all these little things, it's going to help you out, you know, and it's going to teach you, right? The more you communicate and talk, that's how you're going to be able to start calling matches. And then the most important part, everything is always the most important, but in this talk is being able to get to the point of driving a match, you know. And how do we get there? It's right, obviously a lot of reps in there, and then obviously making mistakes over and over until we get it right, but also not just making them the same one over and over, but fixing that mistake, going on to the next one, fixing it. And then like, because I don't think anybody's ever gotten great at wrestling without making those mistakes. So I would never like, just don't question yourself too much, you know, Where I'm telling
Okay.
you, you're in there with Ruby Ray's and you say something, she's just going to ignore you and just work you over, or she's just going to say not yet, or don't
Got it.
worry about it, or, you know, or just maybe, hey, maybe I'm testing you and I'm like, okay, I hear her talking to me, but I'm definitely not going to do anything she's asking. You're going to get that in a match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, definitely don't be afraid to at least throw it out there. You
All
know,
right.
be a communicator, be a networker, right? When you're networking and talking to somebody, and then also don't ever be afraid to even say, "Oh shit, help me out, give me a second, I need to breathe." Like, man, I kind of get scared talking about that. I always think DTA, DTA. Oh, if I tell Lindsay that, that means she's gonna blow me the fuck up right now. You know what I mean? So I kind of refrain to only do that. I'm in there with Jake. Jake, yeah, give me a second, man. I'm dying here, man. And so like he will give me that second. 22-year-old chaos. You told me that. I'm gonna probably lay into you even harder, push you even harder. You know, just I'm upset. You shouldn't be in my match if you can't keep up. All that kind of nonsense when you're young.
Got
But
it.
it'll still happen. So just I would say definitely don't be afraid to communicate when you're in there, because it's just gonna help your wrestling out as you go, help you go a lot farther. Because like I said, you're it's like we're able to get in there with you and you listen. That's number one. You already listen, but don't get too much into the habit of just listening. Try to
I
throw
think I
something
did.
in there,
Yeah.
right? So as long as we know the match breakdown,
Yes.
right? Established face versus heel, cutoff, heat, you know, stuff like that. As long as we know that match breakdown, then we can really just fill in those gaps, you know, really fill in those gaps of what would come next. Well, it doesn't make sense if I'm in the middle of the heat to call a DDT, right? So that doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
right? That's how you're gonna get fucking ignored. But if it does make sense where you just, and this is just building the magic, right? If you're taking heat, you're fighting, 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 fighting. And if Ruby Ray's, I'm fighting her and she lets me, just, she keeps selling for me. My go-to always is I'll whip her and I'll say, put your boot up, get the heat right back, because I know this is not the spot we're supposed to get to. You know what I mean? And
Got it.
9 times out of 10, when I say something like that, everyone's definitely more than willing to listen to me because I'm taking the bump. Then I think it opens the door for my opponent to say, I'll take a bump for him now. He took a bump for me. That was the first thing he fucking called was put your boot up. He bumped for me and he looked great. You know what I mean? So I think that, like, when you're wrestling with somebody, I'll call, dude, like I told New Jack once, and we're wrestling all over, and New Jack stabs dudes when they don't do the right thing in wrestling. And I told him, I said, New Jack. He's like, let's take it home. I go, all right, Jack, but you gotta hit me in the balls with the crutch. And he kind of stopped and he kind of registered like, this motherfucker calling spots for himself. And he goes, no, okay. And he goes, no, he's not. He's calling a spot for me. And he goes, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? I think if you call a spot for somebody, they're more than willing, even if they want to go home. All right, I'll do my big thing, because that's me being a mark saying, hey, I'm wrestling New Jack. I want to get hit the way I've seen him do it on ECW. So I think if you're willing to call stuff like that,
Okay.
definitely we'll listen to you. But if you're saying, hey, take a back body drop for me, we're going, fuck you. You know what I mean? Am I wrong, Ruby? Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah.
You've given me a small taste of that already.
Yeah. So, and that's where it goes back into, you know, really, you know, hey, someone's taking advantage of you, give them that grit right back, right? It's going to build a better match as opposed to you just getting your ass handed to you.
Taking it.
And then, oh yeah, and then also then you're scared, and then you're like, man, fuck wrestling. This sucks. It's just earning that little bit of respect. So don't feel afraid to call something. If you are going to call something, or you're going to take a bump first. Chances of you now calling something a second time and telling someone to bump for you, chances are a lot better in doing that. So, you know, so that's always my first spot if I'm coming back. Hey, put your boot up. Boom, hit me down. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
So that's what I would do. And just I assume for sure you're keeping up with your cardio.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
Keeping up
I
with
know.
your workouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so what we're looking at is just like, so character is what we want to drive. And like, so right, you want to do like, even so right now, what can we do, right? Well, we can do vignettes, all right? Vignettes of who your character is. We can obviously do promos, we can do interviews, but I think the vignettes really take us into a deep dive of who your character is. You know, and I always love to use the example of Razor Ramon because they did that, I don't know, for a month or two or something like that before he even debuted. He'd be at the restaurant, then he'd be here, and he'd be always somewhere. And then you already knew as soon as he came to that curtain, I know who this guy is. But I think the vignettes are so important. What is a vignette? It's just like a scene, a little acting scene, right? You know what I mean? So I think that would really help out. It would tell us exactly who your character is. Like, do you have a name? Do you have a name that already in mind? I'm sure you do. Maybe you won't be embarrassed to tell us.
I mean, I just so far like we just thought of Lindsay Cash, like with Coach Robbie.
Okay.
And like my little training group. I mean, I'm still open for more, but it was just kind of that aspect with like being a kind of like ultimate athlete stepping into a new sport and just like looking to dominate that the way I do.
So with that character, right, and this is what I tell everybody on your character, right, I want you to know what your character, what motivates your character, what your character eats for dinner, what they eat for breakfast, what time they go to sleep, do they work out in the morning, do they work out at night, all these little details that may never come up in a vignette or promo or interview, but you should know it like the back of your hand because it's going to make everything else a lot simpler. You don't ever have to think about what Mean Gene's asking you. Your character just responds to what they're asking you. You know what I mean? It's just a response, whether you think it's a stupid question or whatever your character might say. You know, you have your points that you want to get across, but the character is really is what's going to drive your, or the personality and character is really what's going to drive your vignettes and promos and interviews, you know?
Got it. Question off that. I know
Yeah.
you kind of have talked about like in the past, your characters can kind of evolve. So it's like maybe I might not be this person forever,
Oh,
right? Maybe like a better idea.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, we're all like, you're gonna start like, and you probably like look at Undertaker. You could see this perfect example. Starts off with the pink or gray gloves, or it's not pink, the purple gloves or gray gloves, right? And he's very Undertakerish. He didn't even talk. He just said, "Rest in peace." Like, that was his promo. And then we had Paul Bearer talking for him. And then now, I mean, years later, but then it becomes a guy like Undertaker. There is no final form, man. It's like a Jericho. It just keeps evolving. Went from Biker Taker back to, you know, I think he went from like Gothic Taker to Biker Taker to a new Undertaker. You know what I mean? And he just I think he even did MMA Undertaker. You know what I mean? So there's just always that evolving character, and I think So you're never gonna stay with it. And I think you never want to. That's what always is what's fun about pro wrestling, is creating a new story, a new storyline. And I think I was talking to Ruby last week about this, where a lot of wrestlers just, you know, a lot of it, obviously when we're starting, it's not even about the money. I just want the opportunity, and someone wants to tell a story with show 1, show 2, show 3, show 4, and then at show 5, this is the big payoff, you know. And I think that is so important to a young wrestler. And that's a lot of the times why you'll see wrestlers like, I don't know, like John Moxley, who will leave WWE because it's not about the money. I want to tell a story. This is the story I want to tell. I want to do it different. I don't want to be told what to do. You know, I think, and that's so important because I think that's a lot of the time should be a goal. I don't know about it should be the goal, but it should be a goal to have someone tell a story about you. And so, like, what I'm saying to you is you should have a 5-match storyline that explains who your character is, something now that you can pitch to somebody, you know. So I think that would help out a lot with knowing your motivation of your character. I think it would definitely help out. And also Ruby gave me some notes on character development that I thought was really good and would really help you out and be insightful. I think a lot of it was just talking about the vignettes and the promos and stuff that you should have laid down in foundation, just ready to go. And then another thing on promos, what I was telling people is have a 30-second version, 60-second version, and then a 2-minute version, pretty much with the same points. You know, because you never know if you're going to have 2 minutes, you're going to have 1 minute, man, they might just give you 30 seconds and half of that time Mean Gene is talking. You know what I mean? So you just be prepared to be able to edit down, but also elongate it if you have to.
Got it. And then for like someone like me who hasn't debuted yet, like, is it still all right to like make vignettes or tell a story in that way? Or how you said, like, try to like have a storyline that like can lead up to your debut?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. We're talking about Razor Ramon, right? Coming from WCW as a Diamond Stud. Now he's turning into Razor Ramon pretty much the same character, but now more flashier with a better name. But yeah, it was about 2 or 3 months of vignettes before he debuted. I think they did the same thing with Wade and Mercy. I don't know if they really do it as much anymore. But I remember, man, when I was coming up in the 90s, that was a thing about doing it. I think it's so important because then you're able to get a fan base before you even debut. And I think that's really what's a good thing about social media, because there's no rules about it. It's about engaging and seeing if you can connect with the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I hope that helped you out, Lindsay. And then same thing, if you want to talk more, we can always set up another Zoom time before
Yes,
class
would
and an
love
off
to.
day. And yeah, we could talk more, and we even go deep dive on some promos and shoot promos back and forth and stuff like that. And that goes for anybody.
Right.
I'm just here to help you out on this quarantine time, and see what we can do. So I
Well,
think
thank you.
yeah, you're definitely
I
welcome.
appreciate your feedback.
Absolutely, Lindsay. So I think we're winding down here. I think we're actually past 8 o'clock. But before we end, I've been getting a lot of questions about, hey, any word on when we're opening up Santino Brothers again? But I guess, or are we going to be opening it up again right now? And the short answer is no. At this moment, I do plan on monitoring the schools in Texas and Florida, even Level Up in San Diego. I do plan on monitoring them to see the situation. I do want to give myself somewhere about 60 days. As long as everything's good, maybe at best case scenario, we'd be able to open up August 1st. I don't know what that would entail, right? Like we talked about, is it going to entail herd immunity? Vaccine probably is not going to be ready in time, but maybe also it's going to tell, hey, maybe they found out more about COVID and they found out how it works, and it changes things, right? They're talking about blood pressure and stuff like that, and how it can, and just why maybe some people don't get it because they're taking blood pressure medicine. But anyways, so that's, and then maybe I do also understand that, hey, B-Boy might be running down in San Diego. Rudy Gonzalez might be running out in Texas, and Pablo Marquez out in Florida. But hey, and I understand that nothing may happen to them. But I can understand, hey, we might open our first day and 2 weeks later might be a disaster because there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, maybe they're better isolated. Maybe it's not as condensed as Los Angeles is. So that's why I want to giving ourselves 60 days, probably from today, to see what happens. Hopefully everything does stay up. But the truth is, I think this past week, California had its highest numbers in COVID since the start of the coronavirus in March. It's a little weird to think about, like a lot of places we're planning on opening up, at this time when the numbers are the highest at this point. But hey, maybe numbers are numbers, and maybe we all have had coronavirus, and that changes the game. You know what I mean? But I don't know yet. Best answer I can give you right now is monitoring the situation. I want to give myself at least 60 days. In a perfect world, it would take probably that amount of time to find a perfect building. Worst case scenario, if we have to wait till a vaccine, we're probably looking somewhere in 2021. I'd like to be optimistic and say, hey, January 1st, 2021. But like I said, a lot of the talk today was taking everything day by day. And that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I think I told you at least twice today was that I'm just ready to get back to wrestling and wrestling school and Santino Brothers and teaching you guys and get back on the mission that we started. But at the same time, I want to be safe. A lot of it is that when I look into a lot of the things, and I talk to my buddy, Eric Darnell Anderson, who's used to be a wrestler out here named Gemini Kid. Now he's a lawyer. I talk to him, and what we talk about a lot about is just liability, liability with coronavirus and COVID. And they're saying, hey, with Disneyland opening up, everyone is going to have to sign a liability waiver, knowing that, hey, this thing is a real thing and you can't sue me if you do get it. So I think those are discussions that I'm talking to people about, so, I'm yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
With places running now again, like this combat or the show that Level Up is going to be doing right now. Obviously, that's one scenario because we're here in Southern California. Do you have any words about potentially traveling throughout the country during this right now? And as places are opening up and as people are starting to reach out for bookings, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think it would be like if they opened up. You know, I don't know. I guess we're all to that point of really being antsy and prepared to take calculated risk. I mean, we're going on 3 fucking months now, and I think a lot of people come to the point of, man, I got to take right. I take an incredible chance just wrestling as it is, right? I think we've learned that a simple back roll can be disastrous in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? So we already take this calculated risk, and I think there's people that are definitely ready and willing to take that risk. My advice, my words, I think I would at least give it a month, 2 weeks to a month. See how everything is. You know, I know that people are already doing it, you know, but I know that like Ray Romero wrestled on Saturday, but he's on a bus all day as it is, you know. So maybe he's like, man, I got to do what I do. It's like what my Uncle Supreme said, like, you know, if I don't have this, I don't have anything, you know. And I know people feel like that. They need the wrestling. I'm probably a little bit more cautious because I think we all come to the point of like we get really. I don't know if you guys do like this, but I know my family talks like, oh, we all had it in January. You know, we all had it. And right, and they go, yeah, you know, I was really sick in December. I was really sick in March. And it was really bad. Maybe that was COVID. Then I start thinking, hey, man, maybe I'll wake up because I had the fan on and my throat kind of hurts. And I start thinking, man, ooh, I do not want to get COVID. So I get big. And it's like what I told you last week, Ruby, was then I go into a grocery store and someone doesn't have a mask on it. Ooh, I've already been trained after 60 days or 75 days to, I start backing up. Like, not that I wanted to, but it's just, I'm not used to it. Really watching the protest and everything. It's like a sight to see because we haven't seen in 75 days of people gathered around. And it's like really different to me. I'm like, first thing that hits me is like, wow, are they going to be okay? You know, with COVID, and then even saying, hey, is COVID gone? It feels like that. It really does. I'm not so sure though. So I would give it some time, but that's just me personally. You know, I know there's people out there that says, hey man, if I don't have wrestling, I don't have shit. So I totally understand that 100% because I sacrifice a lot for wrestling, you know. So I'm erring on the moral side of the caution at this moment, especially when it comes down to just for the school. It's my responsibility if anything happens to anybody. At the end of the day, if you go wrestle, I'd probably be more willing to just take myself and go wrestle on a show than I would be to open my school again because of the responsibility I have for other people. Where if I just wrestle, it's just got to take care of myself. You know what I mean? So long-winded answer. I hope it kind of helped you out a little bit, Ruby. But that's my thought. I'm really both ways. I do see it. If I don't have responsibility for other people, I would be definitely leaning towards taking more bookings, doing stuff like that, you know. But since I do have the responsibility of the school, that's why I'm trying to be very cautious right now, you know. So, but yeah, I hope that answered your question. And if anybody else has any other questions, go ahead and speak now, or otherwise we'll go ahead and we'll end it today. I really appreciate, just go ahead and speak out in case I can't see you guys if you have a question. But otherwise, I really appreciate talking to everybody today, you know, and it was just, it was definitely nice than watching CNN for the last 2 hours. So thank you guys. I think you guys, and I think I've already said that you guys, this does a lot more for me than maybe I think it does for you. But I hope you guys get something out of this. And I hope that's why you guys keep tuning in. So I appreciate you guys watching, and let's go ahead and bring it out. Here we go. All right, here we go. Santino's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Santino.
All right, guys. I will see you guys on Thursday at 6 p.m. Good talking to you.
Bye, Joey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joey.
Now.
You're welcome. I see you there, Ozzy. We'll get to you on Thursday, my friend.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.